AITA for doing nothing to stop my stepsister being bullied and refusing to apologize for it? I, 16M, am in a situation that's been eating away at me, and I honestly don't know if I'm in the wrong here. My stepsister, 14F, has been getting seriously bullied at school. It's bad, name-calling, rumors, cruel jokes, and even physical confrontations. I knew about it. I heard about it, and I did nothing. Before you judge me, let me explain. Because this isn't just about me ignoring someone in need. It's about years of hurt, betrayal, and loyalty to someone who actually deserves it. My little sister, 13F. My stepsister wasn't always my stepsister. Before our families merged, she was just another kid at school. But she wasn't just any kid, she was my sister's tormentor. My little sister has been through so much in her short life, more than most adults I know. Our mom lost custody of us when we were pretty young because of her addiction issues. It wasn't a slow fall. It was messy and public, and everyone knew about it. My sister was only 6 years old when it happened, and she was absolutely shattered. Kids can be cruel, but my stepsister? She went beyond that. She latched onto my sister's pain and made it her personal playground. She would corner her at school, taunting her about how our mom didn't love us, how she chose drugs over us, and how we were probably going to end up just like her. Those words don't just sting. They cut deep, especially when you're 6, 7, 8 years old and still trying to understand why your world fell apart. It wasn't just words either. One day when my sister was about 8 and my stepsister was 10, there was an incident at school. My stepsister grabbed my sister by her hair, yanked her down, and shoved her in front of a group of older kids, her own classmates. My sister was humiliated and hurt, and that incident was what led to the school calling in both our parents. My dad and her mom were called in to talk to the principal. The school decided on some kind of buddy system where my stepsister was supposed to look out for my sister for a few hours each week. It was awkward and uncomfortable for my sister, but what choice did she have? After that meeting, my dad and her mom started talking more. Then they started dating. And then a year later, they got married. My sister was devastated. How do you process something like that? The person who made your life miserable is now living in your home, sitting at your dinner table, and calling your dad dad. I was angry too. I confronted my dad. I told him it was wrong, that he was prioritizing his happiness over my sister's well-being. He said things like, "We're a family now, and things will get better." Spoiler alert, they didn't. My stepsister never stopped bullying my sister entirely. It wasn't as overt, and she was smart about it, but the little jabs and comments still happened. When adults were around, she played innocent, but when no one was looking, she'd whisper insults or make snide remarks. My sister started spending most of her time in her room, avoiding family dinners, and staying silent whenever my stepsister was around. As for me, my relationship with my dad became strained. I couldn't forgive him for putting my sister in that position. And my stepsister? I didn't trust her. I didn't like her. I didn't want anything to do with her. Fast forward to this year. My stepsister started high school. It didn't take long for her to struggle. She didn't make friends easily, and she was awkward around other kids. By October, 2 girls in my grade had zeroed in on her. They started calling her names, spreading rumors, and saying awful things about her online. I heard about it, but I didn't step in. Why would I? This was the same girl who made my sister's life a nightmare. I wasn't going to join in, but I wasn't about to put my neck out for her either. I focused on keeping my sister away from her as much as possible. I knew my stepsister being bullied might make her lash out even more at my sister, and I wanted to avoid that at all costs. By the start of this month, things had escalated. There was a fight, my stepsister versus 5 other girls. They ganged up on her, taunted her, humiliated her in front of other students. It was bad, really bad. Afterward, her mom was called in, and my dad went with her. They were in and out of the school for weeks, meeting with teachers, counselors, and even other parents. Eventually, word got around about just how serious things had gotten, and my dad found out I knew. He confronted me about it one night. My dad asked me why I didn't step in, why I didn't tell a teacher, or at least tell him, why I didn't care. And I told him the truth. I said, I don't care about her. I care about my sister. I care about protecting her. And I'm doing what you should have done years ago. I'm picking her side. He looked shocked, like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. He said I was being cruel, that I was letting my anger cloud my judgment, and that I was just as bad as the bullies for standing by and doing nothing. But I stood my ground. I told him I would never go out of my way to help someone who spent years tormenting my sister, that I would never apologize for protecting her, for choosing her over the girl who made her life hell. Since then, things have been tense at home. My dad and stepmom keep saying things like, "You're better than this, and you had a chance to do the right thing." But in my eyes, I did do the right thing. I chose loyalty to my sister. I didn't join in on the bullying. I didn't encourage it, but I also didn't stop it. My sister doesn't know all the details, and I don't think she needs to. She's been through enough. But part of me feels guilty, not for my stepsister, but for how much this whole mess has damaged our family. So, Reddit, AITA, should I have stepped in and helped my stepsister despite everything she's done to my sister? Or am I justified in letting her face the consequences of her actions?